This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock, who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place to tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.
Knicks family, what's poppin'? It's your boy. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We're here. I'm here with Uncle Fulio, and we are going to break down this Knicks versus Phoenix Suns happening in just about 2 hours, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a really good test for the Knicks because the Suns, without a doubt, are a championship level team. And they're a championship level team that is coming into this game healthy and on a 13-game win streak. So this tonight is a perfect test for the New York Knicks. Let's go ahead and get into this game. Again, ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving to you. This is the game day pregame show. So if you haven't already, make sure you go check them out so you can get the most up-to-date sports content and betting odds. So if you plan on betting tonight on the Knicks and the Suns, and if you plan on betting on the Knicks to upset the Suns, well, we got a lot of information for you here, but you better go to gameday.com and check it out before you do anything. Anyway, let's go ahead and let's get my man Uncle Fulio over here so we can talk this talk. Josh, what's popping with you, brother? How you feeling?
Sam, what's going on? Salute. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Happy Thanksgiving to the NBK fam and the chat out there. It's going to be a pretty good game tonight. Tough opponent coming into Madison Square Garden. Hopefully the Knicks can be able to pick up where they left off in the last game against the Lakers and put on a good performance and hopefully come out with a W.
Right. This is going to be a tough game to get a W. Obviously, you're playing the Phoenix Suns. They have it clicking on all cylinders. This is a team that's, I guess every team has a weakness, but their weaknesses are very little. Right? Very little weaknesses for this team. And it's going to be a tough one. We'll get into predictions later on, but let's go through all the information, talk about both teams, you know what I'm saying, and break it down from there. Let's first take a look at the injury report. All right, let's take a look at that because for the Phoenix Suns, and I got the wrong injury report up. Let me get the correct injury report up, and then I'll get back to it. I thought that I had it saved in there, but I'm about to have it saved in there right now. All right, so let's get the injury report back over. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So for the New York Knicks, Taj Gibson, he's questionable tonight, all right, with a sore groin. Mitchell Robinson, questionable. Derrick Rose is again questionable. So, questionable. I mean, when you're questionable, for the most part, I think you're going to be out, right? Especially for the New York Knicks. I think these three guys are not going to play tonight. So you're talking about Derrick Rose, who's the leader of the bench unit for us, probably not going to be there. Might see some more Quentin Grimes tonight. All right, and then at the center spot, we're just depleted. No Taj, no Mitch, Nerlens Noel will be the starter. At least we're playing a team that will go small. So we'll have the ability to go small with Julius Randle and Obi Toppin playing that 4 and 5 spot. And Obi Toppin's been playing well. So this is a time for him to get more minutes, all right? For the Phoenix Suns, Frank Kaminsky, he's out. Right, you have Abdul Nader, he's out. He's questionable. I don't know if, how much, we're worried about Abdul Nader. He's questionable. Then you got Dario Saric, he's out. Right, but for the most part, the Phoenix Suns are healthy, man. They're a healthy squad tonight. And a hot squad tonight. Looking at the lineups, potential starting lineups, or I don't even know if I want to say potential, the starting lineups for the Knicks: Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, R.J. Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel. And for the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. But projected starting lineups for tonight. Obviously, anything can happen between now and then. Right? My defensive assignments, and then we're going to get into this and break it down, Josh. My defensive assignments for the night would be Kemba Walker on Chris Paul, Evan Fournier on Mikal Bridges, R.J. Barrett on Devin Booker, Julius Randle and Jay Crowder, and Nerlens Noel and DeAndre Ayton. That's what I think would probably happen. You can maybe make an argument that Evan Fournier should guard Devin Booker since he doesn't run off screens as much, and maybe R.J. Barrett can guard Mikal Bridges, because Mikal Bridges runs off screens, but I don't know. I think you put R.J. Barrett on Devin Booker. You know what I mean? Because I think Devin Booker can break down Evan Fournier easier than he can break down R.J. Barrett. So I think you put Barrett on Booker. That's the key matchup for me tonight. R.J. Barrett and Devin Booker. My key matchup. Kemba Walker, Chris Paul. I'd like to see. It's a tough one. I just want to see Kemba Walker go at Chris Paul, make Chris Paul have to work. Listen, the easier Chris Paul has it on the defensive side, he's going to play defense anyway. But the easier he has it on the defensive side, the more energy he has to run that offense. You know what I mean? I want Kemba Walker to put some pressure on Chris Paul, make Chris Paul have to work on the defensive side. Whether or not, I'm not expecting him to outscore Chris Paul or anything like that. Just make him have to work on defense. You know what I mean? So that on the opposite side of the ball, maybe he's a little more tired. Maybe he gets a nick or a bump or something like that, or a bruise. Nicks and bruises. Tony Crow. You know what I mean? Maybe he gets a nick and a bruise and whatever because he's playing tough defense. But make Chris Paul have to work. What do you think about that matchup?
Sam, I just think Chris Paul is, he's at a different level than Kemba Walker, obviously. Kemba Walker is, I don't expect this to be a good game for him. You would like to see him be a little bit more aggressive, but I think in order for the Knicks to win the point guard matchup overall, we're going to see more Immanuel Quickley tonight. I think, Immanuel Quickley is that lightning in the bottle off the bench. I don't expect, Phoenix to really have any answer for him. So, I think the sooner Tom Thibodeau can get Immanuel Quickley on the floor, and even Derrick Rose, if Derrick Rose was healthy, but praying that he is tonight, that to put that pressure on Chris Paul to make him play some defense, hopefully to tire him out so he can be limited on the offensive side of the ball because we know how much of a wizard he is on that side. So, again, I think I'm head-to-head Kemba Walker versus Chris Paul. I'm taking Chris Paul every day of the week. So in order for the Knicks to win this overall point guard matchup, you got to see Quickley out there or Rose.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think we win this overall point guard matchup at all, and even if we outscore, let's say Kemba Walker just had a hot night and he had 30 points. I don't know if that necessarily means that he wins this point guard matchup, right? Because Chris Paul plays a different style of a game. I just don't see us winning it, even if Kemba did drop 30. Because Chris Paul is, like you said, he's a wizard out there on the floor. And what he does, his idea of success for his team doesn't come from points. It comes from how well the offense is running.
Prototypical floor general.
Yeah. But that hopefully it's going to be a fun matchup to watch at least. But Chris Paul is a lockdown defender as well. You know what I mean? So it's going to be tough for Kemba to get it off. And I think what the Knicks need to do, and I talk about it all the time, and they do, but send a lot of screens his way. Nerlens Noel screening for him. Julius Randle screening for him. I like the double screen that they use now. I do recall in the Lakers game, Obi Toppin was yelling at Nerlens Noel to come up and set that double screen. A lot of people probably missed that. I seen it. Obi was yelling at Nerlens, come on, you're supposed to be up there setting that screen. So it's something that's definitely new, and I don't think everybody's used to it yet. But it is something that I like, and I think it works because he can choose whichever screen looks best, whichever lane opens up, he can choose to take that. And I think it puts some pressure on the defense, and it allows those corners to open up a little bit more. Hopefully, Fournier, R.J. Barrett, those guys are knocking down those corner threes tonight because we're going to need it.
Absolutely.
We're going to need it.
Oh, yeah.
Evan Fournier, Mikal Bridges. Let's say that's the assignment, the defensive assignment for Evan Fournier. And that ends up being a matchup. What do you see there?
Well, it's still going to be tough, no matter whether it's Devin Booker or Mikal Bridges. But for Fournier, of course, I think you would rather see Bridges than Booker. I think Booker is much more dynamic than Bridges. Although Mikal Bridges has been playing phenomenal basketball. I think he leads their team in plus minus and plus 156, I believe. So it's going to be a tough matchup regardless for Fournier, but he should be able to contain Bridges a little bit. As far as Evan Fournier offensively, if he can shoot the basketball the same way he did the last game, I think it would be much easier for us to be in this game. Fournier has to hit those open shots that he's been getting all season. We know how different this Knicks basketball team is when Evan Fournier is knocking down his shots. Right. So if Fournier can be able to do the best he can and contain Bridges on the defensive side, but offensively Fournier just has to knock down his shots, and I think we have a really good chance to be in this ball game, if not win it.
Yeah, and you know what? We don't even need him. I don't think we even need him to drop 26 like he did last game. Right. Just knock down shots that you get when they're open. Efficiency, right. Just knock down those shots, and it's going to open it up for Julius Randle. It's going to open it up for R.J. Barrett. If Fournier's knocking down his shots, and R.J. Barrett was 50% from the field in the last game, if he's knocking down his shots, it opens it up for everybody. Everybody. I think that Evan Fournier could have a hard time guarding Mikal Bridges, right? Mikal Bridges, he's not really going to take you off the dribble like that, but he's good at floating to the basketball. And, of course, you got a guy like Chris Paul that's going to be able to find him. And then you got Devin Booker who can get into that mid-range area. He can get to the cup. Chris Paul can get to the mid-range area and to the cup. So that opens it up for Mikal Bridges to get a lot of easy shots from the perimeter. And he's a good defender. So it could be tough for Evan Fournier. If Mikal Bridges is guarding Evan Fournier, that could be tough for him. Looking at it from a Suns point of view, do you think Mikal Bridges would be guarding Fournier or would he be guarding R.J. Barrett?
I think Bridges is going to have to guard R.J. I think that's the matchup. I think Booker, the Suns, what they will probably want to do is make sure Booker's guarding the person that I guess is less of a threat out there, which is definitely Fournier. I know RJ's been struggling lately, but I think for this particular matchup, I think Booker will guard Fournier. I think it'll be a little bit easier for him to do that.
So you think Fournier is less of a threat than RJ?
It's kind of hard to say.
It is. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
RJ is much stronger than Evan Fournier. I guess the Suns would want to, not let Booker, get tired from guarding RJ Barrett, because RJ Barrett still is a strong kid. A strong kid can be able to take you to the hole a little bit. He has trouble finishing, obviously, but RJ Barrett's going to take you off the dribble. Fournier's not going to take you off the dribble as much. Fournier's just out there to shoot the basketball. So I personally, if I'm the Suns, I would put Booker on Fournier. I think that's an easier matchup.
Okay. All right. They might. RJ Barrett and Devin Booker.
All right, Sam, I'm going to go on a limb here, right? I'm going to say this is the game RJ Barrett snaps out of it. And I'm going to say he's going to win this matchup, right? I think RJ Barrett has been playing really solid defense on the opposing team's, best player or best wing player. It hasn't been the best, but it's been solid. He's been holding his own. So I'm going to say RJ Barrett is going to be able to contain Devin Booker tonight. Obviously, he's not going to stop Devin Booker from scoring. He's going to get his points. But I feel like RJ Barrett is going to do enough to contain Devin Booker. And I'm going to say RJ Barrett comes out of his shooting slump tonight, and he's going to, put up over 20 points tonight. I'm going to say that, RJ is going to get the best of that matchup. We're going to need him to, obviously. But I'm going to say this is the game to do it.
Man, it's going to be hard. I think it's hard for him to get the best of that matchup. Because Devin Booker is he's so smooth out there on the floor, with he's got the ability to get to the basket. He can, get into the foul line area, pull up from mid-range, knock down the mid-range. He's just a baller. No two ways around it. So it's hard,
Yeah.
and he's smooth with it. It's natural. Like with RJ, and even with Julius Randle, but with RJ, it's the game isn't as smooth in my opinion. You know what I mean? Who was it who said it? Mark. He said RJ got stone feet. Right? He said RJ got stone feet. Fred Flintstone feet. You know what I mean? And what he's saying there is he's blocky. You know what I mean? He's not, he's not loosey goosey. He's not, he's a little bit stiff. But he gets it done being stiff. He gets it done being stiff. But still, like it's Devin Booker's not that way, right? Devin Booker can score easily. He's very smooth. And I think that makes him a tough cover. So if R.J. Barrett is guarding Devin Booker, that's going to be a tough cover for R.J. Barrett. And I'm afraid he may be expending so much energy on the defensive side tonight because he is facing Devin Booker. It may be a struggle for him to shoot well.
I think it's the Pumas, Tim. It's the Pumas that he got.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. I like Puma. I am a Puma fan. As a matter of fact, there's a link in the description of the video, and if you click on that link, you can get a pair of Pumas or whatever kind of Puma gear you want at a discounted price. You know what I mean? So you can't diss Pumas, man. That's like
I'm not dissing Pumas. I'm just dissing RJ Barrett and the Pumas.
It's like my favorite shoe. It's my favorite sneaker. You know what I mean? But it's going to be a fun matchup. And if I'm RJ Barrett, man, I'm taking this personal. If I'm matched up against him, I'm asking for the assignment. If Tom Thibodeau is, up in the air about the assignment, I'm asking for this assignment. I want this assignment, because I want to prove to everybody, if I'm RJ Barrett, that, hey, I can defend the best. And he's not going to be without his mistakes and slip-ups and things like that. You know what I mean? And I actually had their win streak wrong. I'm sorry. They're on a 14-game win streak. The Suns, not a 13-game, a 14-game win streak. I don't know if RJ Barrett wins the matchup. I don't know if we need him to win the matchup. But I think he is going to come out and compete. I think he's going to maybe struggle from the field, but he's going to make some instrumental buckets late. That's what I think might happen with RJ tonight. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm totally wrong, and he comes out and cooks right from the beginning.
Right.
Devin Booker's averaging 23 points per game, man. He's a load to stop, and he has a guard. He has a point guard in Chris Paul. Exactly, and this is the benefit of having a guy like Chris Paul. When your shot's not going, Chris Paul sees it and knows it. So he's like, let me find some ways to get Book an easy shot. Let me help Book get an easy look. I don't know if Julius Randle does that, like makes the conscious decision, because right now he's our facilitator out there, right? Makes the conscious decision, let me get RJ Barrett an easy look. Let me really try to focus in. Let me do whatever it is that I do to help RJ Barrett get that easy look. With someone like that.
I don't think that's natural for Julius Randle to do. I know he's in that position by necessity,
right,
or what have you, but that's the reason why we bought a point guard in here, to try to get that from our point guard. He's just in that position right now. I don't want to say unfortunate, but it's not the best situation for Julius Randle to be in. I feel like, we brought Kemba Walker in here to try to do that, but that's not Kemba Walker's game either. So
that's what I was going to say.
We're still lacking that prototypical point guard on this team. And quite frankly, if you look around the NBA, you're not going to find too many guys. It's not too many Chris Pauls around, but even prototypical point guys who are looking to facilitate first. That's just like a lost art in the NBA now when it comes to point guards. Point guards are mostly the scoring guys. They're going to score and get people open based on their scoring ability. You're not going to find too many Chris Pauls out there, so they're lucky to have them.
Right, and it doesn't even have to be that. It's just the awareness of the floor. Even if you're not, this master facilitator. To me, it's just the awareness of the game. recognizing, hey, this guy, he hasn't been scoring. We got to find ways to get him an open shot, get him something easy because we need his production out there on the floor. So we need to get him going, even if you help him to get into position so he can get fouled, or just recognizing, let's say there's a tech.
Right.
And you recognize, yo, you know what? RJ, he hasn't been hitting, so I'm going to let him shoot the tech. I'm going to call it on the floor. Let's get RJ over there. Let him shoot this tech. Maybe it can get him going, right? Even though most of the time you reserve those technical foul shots for the person with the highest percentage on the floor, but sometimes you might have to overlook something like that. And when you got a guy like Chris Paul out there, he has that knowledge and that ability to overlook it, and the coaches trust him. You can, coaching is totally different when you have a guy like Chris Paul out there on the floor.
Yeah, he's an extension of the coach on the floor. That's what I like to say. He doesn't, when he's on the floor, you don't have to really coach as much because you have a guy out there who's an extension of, the coaching philosophy, to what you're trying to do with the offense.
Right. I mean, or your coaching style changes, right? Because, you can focus on adjustments, small adjustments, while he really does focus on calling the plays and doing those things. You see for the Knicks, Tom Thibodeau does that for the Knicks. He
Right.
calls the plays. You know what I mean? And screams out this, screams out that. So Devin Booker, he's fortunate in that manner, and I think that gives him an edge over R.J. Barrett, a big edge. You know what I'm saying? So I'm giving the edge, obviously, to Devin Booker. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. Even without Chris Paul, Devin Booker has that edge. I think, having Chris Paul just gives him the additional edge. But I give it to Devin Booker. But I think that R.J. Barrett, to be effective for the Knicks, doesn't have to win the matchup in that manner, in my opinion. You know what I mean? I think that he can. I think that he can come out, play well, shoot well from the field, all those type of things. You know what I'm saying? And it benefit the Knicks because it's going to open up other areas and other matchups that the Knicks should win. The Julius Randle and Jay Crowder matchup, which is a tough one for Julius Randle, no doubt about it, right? Because Jay Crowder is aggressive. He's a little bit smaller than Julius Randle, and I think that gives Julius Randle problems. But before I get to Julius Randle and Jay Crowder, just a quick look at the stats between Devin Booker and R.J. Barrett, key matchup for the night. R.J. Barrett, 14.8 points per game, 5.5 rebounds per game, 2.4 assists per game. He's only shooting 39% from the field and 32% from three. He shoots about 71.4% from the free throw line. Devin Booker, he's averaging 23.1 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists. He's shooting 45% from the field, shooting 39.3% from three and 84% from the free throw line. R.J. Barrett's got his work cut out for him. No doubt about it. He's got his work cut out for him. Julius Randle and Jay Crowder. Thoughts on that matchup there?
This is a matchup I'm extremely concerned about. And I don't want to say not more concerned than the Booker Barrett matchup, but for this one, like you said, I think Randle struggles with the smaller, kind of small forward kind of defenders. I feel like Jay Crowder, every time we play him, Jay Crowder always gives us his best foot forward. He's a guy that can knock down 3-point shots if you leave him open. So Randle has to be on his game and find Jay Crowder at all times, because Jay Crowder can definitely get hot and knock some shots down. On the other side of the basketball, Jay Crowder is a veteran, very crafty. He's been around the league for a bit, so he knows how to defend. He's a professional defender. So he's going to have to, be on Julius Randle at all times. And this is not a game where Julius Randle can have a terrible shooting night. Julius Randle has to play well in order for us to win this ball game. I think it's going to be very, very tough for Julius Randle to do that. I'm going to go with Julius Randle to win this matchup overall because I trust in Julius Randle, but it's going to be tough. No question about it. And if Julius Randle's not having a good shooting night, I don't think we win this ball game.
But see, I think if Julius Randle takes on the challenge and plays physical like he can, then he'll match that physicality of Jay Crowder, and I think he'll be all right. He might live at the line tonight. Julius Randle, right? He might live at the line tonight. Listen, the Phoenix Suns, the one thing I liked about the Lakers game is that the game got scrappy, got a little physical, got a little testing. The Knicks didn't back down from it. And they managed to go ahead and win the basketball game. I think a really good test to go up against this Suns team, because this team can get scrappy. When you got guys like Chris Paul and Jay Crowder in that starting lineup, and Mikal Bridges is also a defensive guy.
Oh yeah,
this game can get testy, quick. You know what I mean? So I think that can. I don't know if that favors the Knicks. Let's put that on hold. We'll talk about that. I think Julius Randle wins the matchup, but it's going to be a tough physical matchup. But I think he wins the matchup. I mean, he's going to win it scoring wise, because Jay Crowder's not that kind of a guy, you know. So winning the matchup to me would be matching the physicality and being able to produce through the physicality. Right? To me, that's going to be a notch for Julius Randle. Nerlens Noel and DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I'm giving it to DeAndre Ayton without a doubt. I just want Nerlens Noel to play tough defense on him and make it difficult for him.
Absolutely. I totally agree with it. I definitely think Ayton wins this matchup. Just like you, I want Nerlens Noel to be effective on the defensive end, make it tough for him, but also defending the pick and roll. You know, Chris Paul is one of the best pick and roll ball players of all time in the NBA. So I think Nerlens Noel, with his ability to hex your pick and roll a little bit, try to make it tough for Chris Paul. You know, I think Nerlens Noel is really good defending the pick and roll, and we definitely gonna need him tonight to be able to hold that down.
Right.
To help Kemba.
Yeah, definitely. And that's all we need. Right, is to be able to defend that screen and roll. And Nerlens Noel is a major part of that. A major part of that. As a matter of fact, it's one of my keys to the game, defending the screen and roll. I'm scared of it. I'm not going to lie, because Chris Paul is a master at running the screen and roll. He can come off the screen and pull up a mid-range jump shot. He can find the roller. He can find guys in the corner. I mean, he's just a master at the screen and roll offense. You know,
no question.
So I think that right there is the number one key to this game. Defend the screen and roll effectively. DeAndre Ayton is going to come set that screen. Chris Paul is going to come off with his eyes peeled on everyone that's out there. And if he can't find anything, he can create for himself. So Kemba's going to have to be on his game. And then, of course, Nerlens Noel is going to be on his game. And I think everyone else is going to have to be able to pinch in and then be able to get back out on their man. You know, strong defensive rotations. I think we've got to finish the defense with a rebound. We can't play around on the glass in this game. I think they average about 48 rebounds per game. Right, 48 rebounds a game. We can't mess around on the glass. We got to hit the glass offensively.
46 and a half.
46 and a half it is? Okay, I thought it was 48.
Yeah.
We got to hit the boards offensively and defensively. All right, so it's going to be tough because there's no Taj, there's no Mitchell Robinson that takes some rebounding out of the lineup for us. We need Julius Randle to be on his boards tonight. He had 16 versus the Lakers. I think we need similar numbers from him tonight. And then we need Obi to step up and grab some boards. And our guards come in, you know, R.J. Barrett help rebound. I don't expect much from Evan Fournier. Right, but if he can grab an extra 2 rebounds, Alec Burks grab an extra 2 or 3 rebounds, you know, just so we can help out on those boards, because I want us to win the boards tonight. I think we need to involve Kemba so we can make CP3 work, right? Make him work on the defensive end so it's a little bit tougher for him on the offensive side of the ball. And then we need man and ball movement. You know, this is a good defensive team. So we can't, you know, if we settle into one-on-one the entire night, we could be in trouble because they're a good defensive team. And so we got to make sure that we got good man movement, good ball movement. Hopefully, we're knocking down our shots. If we're knocking down shots, it's going to make the ball movement even better. If we're not hitting shots, then it's going to be a struggle.
Tim, so Phoenix is third in the NBA in scoring right now as far as points per game is concerned. They're second in the NBA in assists per game, so they definitely move the basketball, and they're second in the NBA in field goal percentage. So there can be no wasted opportunities for this Knicks team. We have to be able to, one, like you said, knock our shots down and make sure we're taking quality shots because, I feel like, with the way Phoenix moves the basketball and how they get their shots, it's going to be hard for us to keep up with them if we're not, taking the best shots or we're knocking down the ones that we're supposed to make. So, I'm hoping that the Knicks can be able to get to the line a little bit tonight, a little bit more tonight, try to, get some free points up there. But we can't afford to waste any time against this team because their offense is just at a different level right now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you 100%. 100%. Listen, if we get a lead, we got to protect that lead at all costs tonight. When we played the Lakers, we went up 25 against the Lakers, 25 points. And we let them get back into the game. Up 25, we let them back in the game. They actually tied it. Now, thankfully, they never took a lead. And I think that was great for the Knicks' psyche, that the Lakers never took a lead in that game. I think if the Lakers would have took the lead, I don't know if the Knicks would have recovered.
Sim, and that Laker game, and I didn't get a chance to comment on this in the last post-game show. I wasn't on the last post-game. But in that 7 or 8 minute stretch between the second and third quarter, Tom Thibodeau didn't really change the lineup that much. It was only Grimes coming in for one defensive possession, forced a turnover at the end of the half so we can get the ball back on offense. But for the most part, Thibodeau stuck with that lineup. And I felt like he should have put the bench guys in a little bit earlier or got them in some minutes between in that period where the Lakers went on a 21-3 run, I believe it was. So, listen, regardless of how we get it done, we can't afford to have Phoenix come back. I think Phoenix is a different animal than the Lakers. Yeah. At the end of that, the last game against the Lakers got tired, in my opinion. The Lakers were not tired. You could tell with the shots that Carmelo Anthony was throwing up wide open, he couldn't be able to knock those shots down. I just felt that came from them being tired from forcing their way back into the ball game. If the same situation is going to happen tonight, the Knicks go up big in the first half, hypothetically, and they let Phoenix back in the game, I don't think there's any way we can win this ball game. Phoenix is a younger team. They have really good leadership, and I feel like they have the guys that can be able to knock those shots down. So if we're going to come out to an early lead, we got to be able to hold it, like you said, and we can't let this team get back into a ball game. We just can't, or else we're going to lose.
Right. You can't let them get back in because we will lose if they get back in. They get back in the ball game, and if they tie it, let's put it like this. If they get back in the ball game, if they tie it, eventually they're going to take the lead.
No question.
The Lakers didn't have enough. They didn't have enough to take the lead. The Suns will have enough to take the lead. Fourth quarter execution, it's paramount in this game because they are going to execute in the fourth quarter. Their team, obviously, they've been together for a little while. Chris Paul got there last year, but they've been together for a little while. As far as Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, and them guys. And Chris Paul was a key to help unlock them. You know what I mean? But they have chemistry together. They know how to win down the stretch. The Knicks, we struggle in that area, right? The chemistry isn't there down the stretch. We're still figuring out who's going to do what for us down the stretch of the game.
Every game, it seems like there's a new lineup at the end of the game.
Yeah, yeah. You can bet on Quickly being in the game, Julius Randle being in the game, Nerlens Noel being in the game. At the moment, Nerlens Noel. Then the other guys, fluctuate. You know what I'm saying? It could be, if Evan Fournier's hot, he might be in there. It could be Alec Burks, R.J. Barrett, Derrick Rose. Kemba Walker's really only going to be there in the fourth quarter if he's hot. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I think what Tom Thibodeau is doing now is I guess he doesn't have a fourth quarter unit that he relies on. It's just, or I don't want to say fourth quarter, but a unit down the stretch that he's relying on. It's just he has a couple of guys that he knows is going to be in there. Then other than that, it's whoever's cooking, whoever's going well.
Right.
He's going to put in there. You know what I mean? Well, with the Suns, every team is going to do that. Whoever's going well, if somebody's really, really going well or playing good, just playing lights out, they're going to be there down the stretch of the game. Every team does that. But for the most part, a team like the Phoenix Suns, they kind of got it figured out on who can do what and how they will produce, how they handle pressure and all of those type of things. The Knicks are still trying to figure that out. They're still learning. You know what I mean? So we've got to have good fourth quarter execution or else, we don't stand a chance down the stretch of the game, in my opinion. Just a couple of numbers to compare the two teams. As Josh said, the Phoenix Suns are a high-scoring team. Plus, they're a good defensive team, which, could be trouble. You know what I mean? The Suns average 112.3 points per game. The Knicks average 107.2. The Suns, they grab about 46.6 rebounds per game. The Knicks 45.7. Like I said, I want the Knicks to really I want the Knicks to dominate the glass. It might be tough, but I would like them to dominate the glass. The Suns average 26.7 assists per game. The Knicks 21.9. 8.8 steals for the Suns. 7.1 for the Knicks. 4.4 blocks for the Suns. 6.3 for the Knicks. Both teams average 13 turnovers per game. For the most part, they take care of the ball. The Suns are an efficient shooting team. They shoot 48% from the field. The Knicks shoot 44.2. And this is one of the reasons why I say you got to win the boards, because they're a team that shoots well, which naturally means there's going to be less rebounds. So you got to get those rebounds. You can't allow them to shoot well from the field and put back and get second chance points. Right? Because that means, they're shooting 50% from the field. Well, actually, what that means is they're going to shoot, 55%, 60% from the field or something crazy like that. If you're also allowing them to get offensive rebounds and second chance points. You know what I mean? So we got to hit those boards tonight. Limited rebounds, you got to grab the boards. The Suns shoot 36% from the three. The Knicks 36.8, might as well say 37% from three. 79% from the free throw line for the Suns, 76.5% for the Knicks. The Suns average 49 points in the paint. The Knicks average 43. 10.4 second chance points for the Suns, but a lot of that is due to their good shooting, right? If you shoot 48% from the field, there's less rebounds, less second chance points. The Knicks average 13.6 second chance points. Both teams are about 11 to 12 points on the fast break. So it's a challenging one for the New York Knicks, ladies and gentlemen. The Suns are led by Devin Booker in scoring at 23.1. The Knicks are led by Julius Randle at 20.4. The Suns are led by JaVale McGee in rebounding at 7.1. The Knicks are, of course, led by Julius Randle. Chris Paul averages 10 assists for the Suns, 5. Julius Randle averages 5 assists for the Knicks. JaVale McGee leads them in blocks at just under 1 block per game. Mitchell Robinson leads the Knicks in blocks at 1.67 blocks per game. It sounds like you can attack the rim against the Suns as well.
Yeah.
That may be the one area where you can get an advantage. If you attack the rim, Julius Randle, attack the rim. RJ Barrett, attack the rim. You do these things, you could put some pressure on the Phoenix Suns. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Game Day pregame show. For your most up-to-date sports content and booking odds, make sure you check out the Game Day. The link is in the description of the video. You can also check out their YouTube channel. That link is in the description of the video. And make sure you give them a like, subscribe to their channel. And before you make any bets on tonight's game, after watching this show, go check out the game day. Or if you're going to make bets on anything going on tonight, go check out the game day. Get your information right so you can make an informed decision and then do what you got to do.
Yeah, Sim, in accordance with the game day, I got the game day pulled up on my phone right now. The Knicks are underdog, obviously. I want everyone to go check out the game day for what the spread is. But I think it's a pretty favorable spread. I think Knicks fans will be a little bit happy about the spread, even though we're underdogs. I think they'll like it.
Okay, well, go check out and see what the spread is, and figure out if you want to bet the spread for the night. Win some money, and if you win some money, tell them that I sent you, and then I'll send you a bill. If you win some money, let me know. See, now nobody's gonna let me know. But if you win some money, let me know so I can send you a bill. Because I told you to go to the game day and all of that. I want my consultant fee. Josh, what are your thoughts on? Do you think the Knicks get this win tonight?
I don't. I think the Suns are playing, they're playing great basketball right now. They're firing off at all cylinders. The Knicks are just too inconsistent for me. Obviously, anything can happen. This is only a regular season game. Maybe, this is a trap game for the Suns, so to speak. But the Knicks are just too inconsistent for me. I would not put any money, so to speak, on the Knicks for this game tonight. I just think the Suns are just too good of a team. They're knocking down their shots. They're very, very efficient. And we just make too many mistakes. And we don't rebound the ball enough, in my opinion. And we don't score in the paint enough, in my opinion. So I think this is going to be Phoenix. I think the game will be close up until the end. I think the Knicks lose by 8.
Okay. I hate to say it, but I, too, think the Knicks are going to lose this game. But I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be an intense game. And I think it's going to go down the stretch. I just think the Suns have better fourth quarter execution, and the Knicks are still shaky with their fourth quarter execution, and the Suns pull it out down the stretch of the game in fourth quarter. I think that the Knicks are going to come away with. I actually think this could be a game, even if we lose, that the Knicks come away feeling like we can beat anybody. They say that now, but I feel like they can truly come away saying, yeah, we can beat anybody. Just put them in front of us. And I think this could be a game that does it. If you look back to 2007 and 2008, when the Giants beat the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, the last game of the season, the Giants played the Patriots and they lost.
17-14. I will never forget it.
But they almost beat them.
Oh, yeah.
They almost beat them. And that loss gave them the belief that they could win the Super Bowl because of how well they played in that game. And also obviously gave them the belief that they can beat the New England Patriots. I think this could be a game like that for the New York Knicks. Even if they lose, I think that this game could propel them forward. Where they start to realize, hey, you know what? We can really, really, they say it, but you've got to beat some people and you've got to do some things to believe it. Saying it is the first part, and then you got to do some things and you start to believe it. And I think this could be one of those games that propel the Knicks forward. If they come out and play well.
Tim, I just want to say with RJ Barrett, I know I'm the one that correctly predicted that he was going to score over 30 points in that New Orleans game. I just want to say I should have, bet on the lottery that night because it seems like I was very, very lucky with that.
Yep.
So hopefully, me saying that he's going to have a good game tonight, maybe I'll bet on the lottery again and I can win. You know what I'm saying? You
should have went right over to the game day. They link you to all of the betting sites. You could have went right there, linked to whatever betting site you wanted to do for that day and won you some money.
I know.
Won you some money. But that time's passed. Maybe you can do that you can do it tonight. It's not too late. You still got an hour and a half before the game starts. You can do it tonight. And then come back and tell us how much money you won.
We'll see. You ain't sending me a bill, though. That's not.
Why not? Shoot.
It's all good. Don't worry.
I need to make some money on this thing, too. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. Put it in the chat. I want to know when you're in the chat what you think what you think happens tonight. Do you think the Knicks get this win? Can the Knicks pull it out against the Suns, or the Suns Are the Suns too good? Let me know. Put it in the chat. I want to know what you think. And while you're putting that in the chat, I want to remind you that on November the 30th, that's this Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, this Tuesday coming up at Legends at 6 p.m., we're going to have a live podcast and watch party, Knicks versus Nets. Right? It's going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. It's free entry. We're taking registration so we can, monitor who's there and know how many people are going to be showing up. But I hope to see you there, ladies and gentlemen. Starts at 6 p.m. All right, we're going to start the podcast about 6:30, but the doors will be open, but, you'll be able to get in at 6 p.m., and that's when we're going to kick things off. Legends, New York City, November the 30th. Live podcast and watch party. The link is in the description of the video right now. You can click on that link and register. NBKfam.com, ladies and gentlemen. I'm looking forward to seeing you there, so make sure you register as soon as possible because spots are a little bit limited. All right? Anyway, looking in the chat to see what people say. I don't know. What are they saying in the chat? Some people, I see Quiet Money said the Knicks are going to win tonight. Who cares about the shit? He said, screw the spread. Who cares about the spread? The Knicks are winning. I hope so. Quiet Money. I'm with you. I hope so. Of course, I want the Knicks to win tonight. Agent Super Argos of the Knicks, 98. The Suns, 93. Low scoring. Khalil Smalling said the Knicks dig it out. We'll see. Let me see. Triple X, bad boy for life, said Knicks have a 30-point lead versus the Nets and lose 121-102. I was talking about the Suns, but okay, you took something against the Nets. Okay, I'm with it. All right. Anyway, we'll see what they do tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be on the post-game show, so make sure you check us out for the post-game show. All right, looking forward to breaking this one down because I think it's going to be a fun game. Shout out to Quiet Money. He said he signed up. He'll see us there on the 30th. I'm looking forward to seeing you again, Quiet Money. Appreciate you for signing up. Looking forward to getting out there. But ladies and gentlemen, Yankees fan forever said the Suns 107, the Knicks 102. They'll win by 5 points. You know what? That's the kind of score that I envision as well. Yeah.
What about overtime, Sam? You think the game goes to overtime tonight? It just might.
I don't think so. I don't think it goes to overtime. It could. Like I said, I think it's going to be chippy and scrappy and intense, but I think the Suns pull it out in the fourth quarter due to better fourth quarter execution by the Suns and not as good fourth quarter execution by the Knicks. Yep, that's basically what it is that I see. And for those who are just joining us, a quick rundown and game preview. Looking at the injury report. For the Knicks, Taj Gibson, he's questionable. Mitchell Robinson, he's questionable. Derrick Rose, he's also questionable. For the Phoenix Suns, Frank Kaminsky, he's out. Abdul Nader, he's questionable. And Dario Saric, he's out. But for the most part, the Phoenix Suns are strong. Their starting unit is intact. And they're on a 14-game win streak. Looking at
and they got Elfrid Payton.
And they got Elfrid Payton. They got the elf. He's on the shelf right now because he ain't getting no playing time. But they got the elf. Projected starting lineups for the Knicks: Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel. For the Suns, Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. Those are your starting lineups. Looking at defensive assignments, though, may switch around a little bit. Kemba Walker will likely guard Chris Paul. Could be a tough assignment for Kemba Walker. Evan Fournier, we think Evan Fournier will guard Mikal Bridges. It's based on the skill set. And then RJ Barrett and Devin Booker, for me, that's the key matchup of the night. We'll take a look at that in a second. Then you got Julius Randle and Jay Crowder. Could be a tough one for Julius Randle. Jay Crowder is physical, defensive type of guy. We didn't mention earlier, but Julius Randle does have to get out to that three-point line because Jay Crowder can knock down that three.
No doubt about it.
Right, but Jay Crowder is going to make this difficult for Julius Randle. Julius Randle's got to use his physicality tonight against Jay Crowder. It's got to. Then you got Nerlens Noel and DeAndre Ayton. DeAndre Ayton is going to win that matchup. That's without a doubt. But Nerlens Noel can make it tough on him. He can play some tough defense. And we really need Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker to be on point in this pick and roll defense, with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. That's a staple of their offense. And Chris Paul is a maestro when it comes to delivering the ball off of that pick and roll. So we need Nerlens Noel and Kemba Walker to be on point. Looking at team comparison, as far as statistics are concerned, the Phoenix Suns, a high-scoring team, score 112 points per game. The Knicks, 107. 46.6 rebounds for the Suns, 45.7 for the Knicks. The Suns are a team that gets a lot of assists, 27 assists a game. The Knicks, 22. The Knicks really need to be on their defensive rotations. Right? They got to be able to help out on the screen and roll and then get back to their assignments. They got to communicate. 9 steals for the... Oh, go ahead. What'd you say?
I was going to say second in the NBA. Second in the NBA in assists per game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. The Knicks got to be on point. 9 steals for the Suns, 7 for the Knicks per game. 4.4 blocks for the Suns, 6.3 for the Knicks. Both teams are low turnover teams at 13 turnovers per game. The Suns shoot well from the field, 48% from the field. The Knicks, 44%. The Suns shoot about 36% from the three-point line. The Knicks shoot like 37%. Suns are 79% from the free throw line. The Knicks are 76.5%. The Suns average 49 points in the paint. A lot of that due to DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul in that screen and roll action. The Knicks average 43 points in the paint. The Suns, 10.4 second chance points per game. That's kind of low, but a lot of that is due to their high shooting percentage. This means the Knicks really got to be on the boards. They can't allow the Suns to get a lot of second chance points because then you compound it with their good shooting and you're in trouble. The Knicks average 13.6 second chance points per game. Suns, just about 12 fast break points per game. The Knicks, 11 fast break points per game. Devin Booker leads the Suns in scoring. The Knicks are led by Julius Randle. JaVale leads them in rebounds. The Knicks are led by Julius Randle. Yeah. Chris Paul leads them in assists. The Knicks are led by Julius Randle. And that's what's crazy because that's not always a good thing when you have one player leading you in so many categories. Right. That means that player's got to do everything for you. JaVale McGee, he leads the Suns in blocks at just under 1 a game. The Knicks lead. Mitchell Robinson leads the Knicks at 1.67, but he's not playing tonight. But it is apparent that the Knicks can get to the basket and put some pressure on the rim. And I think that's got to be one of the Knicks' strategies. Keys to the game, and I'm just reviewing this, ladies and gentlemen, for people who are just getting here. Keys to the game, defend the screen and roll. We talked about that. That's a big key. You got to be able to defend it. Finish the defense with a rebound, right? Dominate that rebounding glass tonight. Involve Kemba on the offense. Make CP3 have to work. I don't know if it's going to affect what he does on the defensive side or on the offensive side if he has to work, but make that man have to work. Make him have to work. We need man and ball movement. They're a good defensive team. They're scrappy. They're aggressive. Aggressive teams, if you move the ball, you can maybe get them reaching a little bit, get some lanes to the basket. But if we go one-on-one, they're going to hurt us. They're going to hurt us. We get a lead, we got to protect it. It's been all season long that we haven't protected leads, ladies and gentlemen. A 25-point lead versus the Los Angeles Lakers, and we lost it. Protect the lead. Good fourth quarter execution. Those are my keys to the game, ladies and gentlemen. One last thing, the bench, Josh. We didn't talk about the bench much. What do you think? You think the Knicks can win the bench matchup against the team? I mean, they have on the bench, they got JaVale McGee, Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne. These are all productive players. I don't know if they have Landry Shamet. You got to watch him because he can knock down the three.
Yeah. I think the Knicks can win this bench matchup. Again, it's all going to depend on if we're knocking down our shots or not, our shots. Alec Burks and Emmanuel Quickly, they definitely have to be able to step up and knock their open opportunities down because they're going to get some. And I know Derrick Rose may or may not be playing, but if he's out there, we definitely have to need him. So I think this is something we definitely can win. It's going to be close, but like I said, if the starters are not playing up to par and we got to throw the bench out there, that might limit limit them and a little bit. So I think it's going to be tough no matter what, no matter how you slice up our bench. But we got to have guys knocking down shots. I mean, there's no way we can have any of our key guys, the Quickleys, the Burks, the Randles, the RJs, the Fourniers, shooting 4 for 15 or 4 for 12 or something like that.
Right.
We got to have our guys shooting good percentages.
Yeah. Quickly, Obi, Burks. We need them to come in and play well tonight. We'll see what Tom Thibodeau decides to do. No Derrick Rose is questionable. I don't know if anything is going to change. We'll see if Quentin Grimes plays, if Jericho Sims plays, or if he just keeps the lineup short. But we need the bench to come out and play some ball tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. This has been the Game Day pregame show. Make sure you go check out the Game Day at thegameday.com. Check them out on their YouTube page. Right? Hey, just go check them out before you place any bets. I just ask you to do that because I want you to make informed decisions out there. All right? Post game tonight, right after the game. I don't know, what's that, 9:30, 9:45, something like that. You'll get the notification. Make sure you check us out on the post game. And ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Appreciate your time. Peace.
Go Knicks.
This is NBK, nothing but Knicks. When Sim passed the assist, you know that it's #1 show that breaks down the game. If you can't play defense, stay out my way. Dribble the ball, come down the lane. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Who gon' win us the game? You wanna hear Nick updates and trade rumors? Post-game reviews, this the place you tune in. So tell a friend just to keep the ball moving. Like the page if you feeling the movement. Every game we coming to win. Give us a sub like a player that came off the bench. This is NBK, nothing but Knicks.